Good day, everyone. Welcome to our lecture about the systems of measurement. So today, class, we are going to continue our lecture about this topic, and I'll just go briefly the previous ones that we have discussed, and then I'll focus my discussion to the part about perimeter, area, and volume. So last time we talked about the basic concept about measurement. Okay, so we have here the slide that shows us what is meant by the word measurement. Okay, so we have discussed this already, so I'll not explain that again. Then we have this standard unit of measurement using the physical quantities like hand, the foot or the feet. And then we have here standard units of measurement English system, which arose from natural non-standard units. So we use foot, hands. We have here the what we call fathom, okay, and we have acre, inches, and so on. Then we have here the English system of units, which arose from natural standard units. We have here length in terms of foot, yard, miles, and we have some conversion here. 1 mile equal to 5,280 feet. And in terms of weight, we have pounds, ounces equal to 16 ounces. Ton in 1 ton is equal to 200 pounds. And when we talk about capacity, example here we have the tablespoon TBSP equal to teaspoons TSP. So these are the conversion of some uh, units. Then we talk about the metric system, and we have the international system of units, and we have here some conversions of units from millimeter to meter or centimeter to meter and so on. And we have here some conversion also of standard units of measurement like kilo, hecto, deca, then dc, centi, and millimeter. So these are the different expression of these units. So if we speak of kilo, that means 1,000, and that can be expressed in terms of um, scientific notation, 10 to the 3, and so on. Then we have here the unit of length in terms of kilometer, centimeter, millimeter, and so on. For the weight, we have kilogram, milligram, and so on. Then capacity normally is expressed in terms of ml or milliliter, or sometimes liter. Then we did some exercises converting one unit to another. We have done this, so I will not explain this again. And then next we had length, we have the perimeter, area, and volume. And then we had lecture on finding the distance on the line, and we have some illustration on how to calculate the distance using points on the line. And next we have what we call area and perimeter. So perimeter is the length around the boundary of a closed two-dimensional region, as what you have seen here, or what can you see from this illustration. And that is a perimeter. And when you speak of area, that is the amount of material that would be needed to cover a surface completely. So that is what is meant by area. So talking about perimeter, so the word perimeter class is composed of two words. The word peri. So the word peri in the word perimeter means around, and the part which is called meter that represent measure. So when you combine the two word perimeter, so it means measure around. Okay, so we have here some polygon. When we speak of polygon class, it's a geometric figures that is close, no, close geometric figures like this one. So we have here polygon which has four sides, and each side are the same. Okay, so the same in terms of measure. So this particular polygon is called square. So the perimeter of this polygon is just the sum of all these sides. Okay, and we have also another polygon that looks like this. I will tell you the name of this one later. So having the same side, S, S, and S. So though its appearance look like this, still when we speak of perimeter, we just sum up all the sides. So since they have the same side or same side on, sorry, equal amount or equal measurement on each side, so the perimeter is just the sum of all these sides, which is equal to 4 times S. So perimeter is just the sum of all sides, S plus S plus S plus S. So simply 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 S. So perimeter is equal to 4S. Then for this particular polygon, we have this side equal to this side. Okay, that is represented by this arrow. And we have another side which is also equal to this side. There are two arrows, so telling us that this side is just equal to this side. So to calculate the perimeter, we just sum up. We have A for this side, so we have A, then plus this side B, then plus this other side A, then plus this other side which is B. And as you see it, there are two same side, 2A, and we have also 2B. So we can say that the perimeter is just the sum twice of this side, so we have 2A plus 2B. So this formula P equal to 2A plus 2B. So this is also true for, so this formula class is also true for this figure. So this side is equal to this side and this side is equal to this side. So therefore the perimeter is also equal to twice of this side, 2A, plus twice of this side, 2B. Alright, so these are the examples of um, perimeters, calculating the perimeters of these types of polygon. So we have here some example. I will not solve all of them. I will just solve some of them. So for letter A, we have a triangle. So you should know what kind of polygon we are talking about. So the first example A, we have a triangle. So triangle, it could look like this. So if this is 5 and if this is 7, if this is 9, so we're given here the length of the sides of the triangle as 5 centimeter, 7 centimeter, and 9 centimeter. So the perimeter is just the sum. So perimeter P is just 5 plus 7 plus 9. It doesn't matter, class, if you have started in this direction from 5 going in clockwise direction, or you do it in counterclockwise direction. It doesn't matter. So perimeter is simply sum of all the side, which is in this case we have 12 plus 9 is 21. So the unit here given as centimeter. So 21 centimeter. This is the perimeter for problem number or problem A. Then problem B or item B, a square with side length 8 feet. So now the polygon described here is a square. So you should know what is a square. Otherwise, you will not be able to solve this one. So the square will look like this. Okay, it says that with sides equal to 8 feet. It means that this side is equal to 8 feet. This side is also 8 feet. This side is also 8 feet. This side is also 8 feet. So the perimeter is simply the sum of all the sides. So 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, or simply 4 times 8. So perimeter is equal to 32. The unit is feet, so the unit also is in feet. Okay, so that is example B. So item C, rectangle. So what is a rectangle? So you should know what is a rectangle, class. So a rectangle has two opposing sides that are equal to each other. So this side equal to this side, and this side is equal to this side. So this is a rectangle. So we are given here that the rectangle has a length equal to 9 mm. So considering this is the length, which is 9 mm, so this side here is also equal to this side. So this is also 9 mm, 9 millimeter. And the length, and the other side length is 5 mm. So assuming this is the 5 mm, so this is also the 5 mm. So again, the perimeter is just the sum. So perimeter is just the sum. We have two sides that are equal, so you just multiply 2 times 5 plus these sides are equal, 2 times 9. So perimeter is equal to 2 times 5, 10, plus 2 times 9, 18. So this is 28. Okay, the unit is in millimeter. So this is the perimeter for C. And for D, rhombus. Rhombus, one of whose sides has length 7. Okay, rhombus class is the one that I have shown you earlier. Okay, it's just like a square, but the sides are slanted. Okay, so this is what we call rhombus. So it says that a rhombus, one of both sides is 7 inches. So it means that this side equal to this side equal to this side and equal to this side. So 7 inches. So the perimeter here is simply equal to 4 times 7, which is equal to 28. So the unit is in inches. Okay, so just continue class. We have here rhombus. So that is how the rhombus looks like. And we have parallelogram. So what does it mean, parallelogram? So parallelogram class is the sides are parallel to each other, but not necessarily all the sides are equal. So for example, this side is parallel to this side, and this side is equal to this side. And we have another side, this one, which is equal in measurement. So in this case, we're given length of 7 centimeters. So we can say that this is 7. This is the 7 centimeter. So if this is 7, this is also 7. Okay. And if this length is 9.4 centimeter. So this length is also 9.4 centimeter. So again, the perimeter of the parallelogram is just the sum of all these sides. So we have 2 times 9.4 plus 2 times 7, which gives us P, which is equal to 33, 33.4 centimeter. Okay, so that's it. You just continue this class. The other problem, it talks about kite and trapezoid. So just study what is the the picture of a kite and the trapezoid, and then you calculate the perimeter. Okay, so I'll move to the next one. So you can see here, class. Actually, this slide here, this part, these are the solutions to the problems given in the previous slide. So you can see it here. So we have solved A, B, C, D, E. So you just solve F. So you just solve F and G, class. Okay, so we speak of in number we have a part here. Apologies, class. The letter A, class, is 7.3, not 7. Okay, So if this is 7.3, this is what we call the parallelogram class. Okay, this is the parallelogram. And this is the rhombus. Okay, this is the rhombus. So it looks like a square, but the sides, two of the sides are slanted. Okay, these are slanted, but they're given of the same measure. So you just multiply it by 4. So D, this is D. Okay, problem D. So the perimeter is just 4 times 7. So this is the rhombus, this is a parallelogram. And for F, this is a kite. You see, this is the picture of a kite. And then the other one, this is the trapezoid. Okay, so trapezoid glass has two sides that are parallel to each other. Okay, but not necessarily equal to each other. And another side, this side, which is not also equal to this side here. So this is what we call trapezoid. Okay, just be familiarized with the kind of polygon that we are dealing with. This is, of course, you know, what is this? This is a triangle. And this is the square, this is the rectangle, this is the parallelogram, this is the rhombus, this is the kite, this is the trapezoid. Okay, then let's move to the next one. We call it circumference. So the perimeter of a circle class is named another way. Instead of calling it as perimeter, we call it circumference. So take note, a circle. So imagine this is a circle, assuming that this is a rubber band, circular. So if you cut this one at this point and then you stretch it, it will give us a straight line. Okay, so this straight line, of course, this is what we call the perimeter, right? This is perimeter. But since this is taken from the circle, so we call this perimeter as circumference. Circumference. And the perimeter of a circle class, and which is the circumference, this is dependent on the radius of the circle. Okay, so whatever is the radius, if the radius is very small, like for example, if you have this circle, so the radius here is very small, right? So when the radius is very small, so what will happen? The length is also small. So we can say that the perimeter or the circumference of a circle dependent on the value of the radius. So that's why here we're given that the circumference C, we denote this word circumference as C. So the circumference C is equivalent to 2 pi r. So 2 pi means one revolution. We know that one revolution is equal to 2 pi or equal to 360 degrees. So to determine the length of this circle or perimeter of the circle, we just find out what is the value of r. So the value of r multiplied that by 2 pi. So 2 pi r, this is now the circumference of the circle. Okay. By the way, class, talking about circle, there are so many things that you need to learn about circle. So just to give you brief about this. So if this is the circle, class, so the circle has a center. Okay. So the center of a circle, if you connect any point on the circle, class, like for example, if this point, okay, this is the center. If you connect the center to any point in the circle, this distance is called radius or r. Okay, if this is the point and you connect this point with the center, this is also r. If this is the point and you connect this point with the center, that is also equal to r. So we have 3r here. So it is called radii. So this is called radii. Radii of the circle, we have your R1, for example, this is R1, R2, R3. So these are the different radius of the circle, but they are equal in value. So R1 equal to R2 equal to R3 or equal to R. Okay, so this is the radii of the circle. Now, if we, for example, if we connect 2 points on the line, so assuming this point and this point and this point, you connect this point and this point and passing through the center. So this is what we call diameter. This is what we call diameter. So when you connect 2 points on the circle and you draw a line, you connect the 2 points, and the line that connects the 2 points passes through the center. This is what we call diameter. Okay, diameter ang tawag niyan, class. And if you look at this from this center of the circle towards that, if you call it R1, and distance from this point to this point of the circle as R2, so we can say that R1 is just equal to R2 equal to R. So we can then say that R1 plus R2 equal to D, diameter. Okay, so we call the diameter as D. So R1 equal to R2, which is equal to R. So we have R plus R equal to D, or R plus R is equal to 2R. So therefore, the diameter is just twice of the radius. Or if you want to solve for radius given the diameter, you just divide both sides by 2. So divide this by 2. So we have R is equal to D over 2. Okay? So this is all about circle. Just take a screenshot of this slide, class, and I will give you another concept about circle. Okay, so done. So I will elaborate our discussion about circle. There are so many things that you need to know about circle. So far we have talked about diameter, radius, and circumference. If you have a line, so for example, if you have a line connecting these 2 points, okay, these 2 points are on the circle. So this is what we call chord. Okay, that is chord, class. This is also a chord. Okay, connecting these 2 points. So this is also a chord. And if you have this point and you connect these 2 points and then passing through the center, so this is also a chord. So diameter, class, is a chord. This is the longest chord in a circle, yung diameter. Okay, so any 2 points on the circle, when you connect that one, that is what we call chord. I repeat that. So this point and this point, you connect these 2 points. So this line is what we call chord. And this point connected with this point, passing to the center. So this is also a chord, but this is the longest chord. So the longest chord is called diameter. Okay? So if you have this point and this point connected, this is also a chord. If you have this point connected with this point, this is also a chord. Or if you connect this point to this point here, this is also a chord, class. If you connect this point and that point, that is also a chord. Alright? So you know another term, chord. Tawag niya chord. So I was talking about chord. Okay? Now we have another term, a point that intersect at what point. If there's a line that intersect at one point on the circle, like for example this point, and there's a line passing through that point only. It intersects only at this point. So this, okay, I can put it here. I can draw it better here. So if this is the point of the circle, and if there's a line passing through that point, intersecting at one point, so this point, this line class is called tangent line. This is tangent line. It is called tangent line. And if you have a point here, and there's also a line passing or intersecting at this point, this is also a tangent line. So at any point in the circle, if there's a line intersecting at just one point on the circle, that line is also that is called a tangent line. Okay, and talking about chord, again talking about chord. So you see here, this point, and this point is connected. So this is a chord. If you extend this line class, this chord, if you extend this line, so this line is called secant line. The chord class is just within the circle, but if you get out from the circle, so that line is what we call secant line. So the definition of secant line class is that it's a line intersecting 2 points in the circle. So if a line intersect 2 points in a circle, or whatever is the circular figure, so that line is called secant line. So it means this is also secant line because it intersects 2 points on the circle. So that is also secant line. Okay, so these are just some of the important things that you need to know. We have the radius, we have the diameter, we have the chord, the secant line, and tangent line. All right, so I think that's all for this part, and then we'll continue to the next page. Now let's talk about area. So area of a square. So the area of the square class is just coming from the basic formula. Area of a polygon, four-sided polygon, is just length times the width. Okay? So when you speak of square, so the characteristic of the square class is that all sides are equal. So you can let the side of square as S. So if we call it a square, it means all the sides are equal. Then the area, from this definition, it means that the length is also S, the width is also S. So S times S, so therefore the area of the square is simply A squared. Okay, so area of the square is simply square of the sides. Then for rectangle, so again, this is coming from the basic formula that area of a four-sided polygon is just the product of the length and the width. So in this case, in this illustration class, we have the length, which is equal to A, and the width is equal to B. So we have A times B, or simply A is equal to AB. So this is the area of a rectangle. Now for a triangle, area of the triangle basically is equal to 1/2 multiplied by the base and multiplied by the height. Okay, so in this case our base is B, so we have 1/2 multiplied by B, and the height is equal to this. The height is the line drawn from the vertex at B perpendicular to the base. Okay, perpendicular to the base. So this is the height. So the height is H, so area is equal to 1/2 BH. That is for a triangle. Then for a circle class, the area of the circle is simply pi r squared. So that is the formula. Pi r squared. So again, the area is just dependent of the radius. So the bigger is the radius, then the bigger is the area. The smaller is the radius, then the smaller is the area. So remember this area formula of a circle. This is simply pi r squared. Okay, circumference is 2 pi r. So remember these two formula about circle. So we have here some exercises. Actually, class, we have done this already last time. So if you calculate PR, so what is PR? The distance from P. This is the distance from P to R. So this is PR. Alright, this is PR. So if you look at the illustration, so PR is just the sum of PQ. The sum of PQ, this is PQ. Okay, then we have here QR. So therefore PR is simply PQ plus QR. So we're given PQ. So it says that we have Q equal to this one and R equal to this one. So you just sum up, whereas the corresponding real number P, so the corresponding real numbers are P equal to negative 3.78, Q equal to, then R equal to this one. So you have to do it from left to right, from left to right. So from the center, okay, so from the center class, this is the center class. This is the center, and the number line, numbers going to the right, positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then to the left, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, but negative. Okay, so the P here, P means the distance from the center, which is the 0, towards this one. Ito yung P natin, which is given small p. Okay, this is given as 0.378, negative because it's on the left. So PQ is just equivalent to P. No? PQ is just, sorry, it's not P, but this is PQ is up to this point only, class, this one. So what is this? We have Q. Q is the distance from 0 up to this one. So this is Q. Okay. And then we have R is the distance from the center, from 0 to R. So ito yung R natin, small r. This is the small r. Alright. And we have S. S is the distance from 0 towards this. Okay, from 0, this is our S. So when you calculate PR, so using the big letters, we have PQ plus QR. That is distance PR. But in terms of this real numbers given here, okay, this is what is P is the distance from 0 to P. 0 to P. Then Q is 0 to Q. Alright, so to calculate we have to do it from right to left, class. From right to left, going in this direction, or left to right. So if you do it right to left, so ito yan. Okay, so sorry, the the illustration is not so clear because okay, let me erase this one. Okay, so we have Q 1.35. So Q is 1.35. This is Q class with reference to 0. This is 1.35. All right. Then P is negative 3.78. From 0, 3.78. So ito yung P natin. 3.78. So 3.78. And R is the distance from 0. So this is R. Okay. So this is equal to, this distance here is equal to 0.56. And then we have S is from 0. This is our S. This is 2.87. Okay, so to find the distance from P to R, PR, okay, so where did you get this? 4.34 units. So ganito yan, class. So we have PR in terms of big liters. This is equal to PQ over QR. But in terms of the small numbers, P, small q, small r, small s, so this is, okay, I will rewrite it in this manner. So PR equal to PQ plus QR. But in terms of this small value, class, so you see here, what is PQ equal to? PQ equal to, this is this distance, class, from P to Q. So the distance from P to Q is simply 3.78. This is negative, but in terms of distance, take the absolute value. So 3.78, then minus 1.35, which is, this is Q. Okay, then as I've said, we're talking about distance, class, so you take the absolute value. So it means that absolute value of 3.75, so PQ is calculated as 3.75, then minus this Q, which is 1.35. So that is for PQ. This part is only for PQ. Then plus QR. So the distance from Q to R. So what is this? So we have this, going to this direction, we have Q. This is only Q. Okay, and then we have this distance. This is equal to R, right? This is R. So therefore, QR is simply equal to Q, which is 1.35, then plus R, which is 0.56. Okay, so this is PR. So let us check if, so take note, we're talking about distance, so absolute value, class, take the absolute value of the measurement. So 3.75 minus 1.35 equals 2.24, then plus the quantity 1.35 plus 0.56, so we got 1.35. Okay, let me check, it's 4.34. Let me check, why is it 4.31? So 3 point, sorry, class, this is not 75, but this is 78. Sorry, that's why this is 3.78. Okay, so again, let's do it. 3.78 minus 1.35 equals, then plus the quantity 1.35 plus 0.56, so we got here 4.34. So this is 4.34. So PR, okay, PR is equal to this. Okay, so this is the one. So RQ, RQ class, when you calculate RQ, so RQ, so from 0, that is Q, then from 0 to R, okay, so RQ means Q, small q, then plus R, which is equal to Q is 1.35, take the absolute value of that, then plus R, which is equal to 0.56. So 1.35 plus 0.56, so we got 1.91. Okay, so RQ is equal to 1.91. All right, 1.91 units. So this is this one. Okay, so you just do the same class for PS and QS. So what is PS? Distance from this one. This is our PS. And so 6.65 units. So this is the same as PS is simply equal to we have P. No, our P. This is small p. Okay. Then plus we have here R plus R, then plus S. No, you can go directly to, so our P is given, which is this one. So this is just P plus S. Okay, let me check if that is exactly. So our P is 3.78, then plus S is 2.87. Yes, it's correct. So this is equal to, our P is the small p, the distance from 0, that is 3.78, then plus S is the distance from 0 to S, which is equal to 2.87. And it gives us 6.65 units. Okay, which is exactly this one. And for QS, so distance Q here, so simply Q plus S. So Q plus S means our Q is 1.35, then plus 2.87, which is equal to 4.22. So QS class, our Q is simply sum of Q, so Q plus S. Q is our Q is 1.35, take the absolute value, then plus S, which is 2.87, so equal to 4.22 units. Okay, so that is how to calculate the distance. So the distance class is calculated using the absolute value. Kasi kung if it goes to the left of 0, negative siya. If it goes to the right of 0, positive. But since you are talking about distance, so you just remove the negative sign, class, and then do the operation as plus or minus. Alright, so that's for this slide. And then we have here again perimeter and area of its polygon. So we're given here the radius. Okay, so if you are asked to solve for the circumference, circumference is simply 2 pi r. You just multiply 2 pi by the given radius. Okay, this is the r. And you get the value for circumference. Then for area, area is pi r squared. Again, this is the r. You substitute it here. So area is equal to pi times 4.8 square. So this is the area. And take note, when we talk about area, class, the unit should be square units. So if the given unit is meters, so that will be square meters or meter square. Okay, so that's how to calculate for the area of the polygon. So in this case, our polygon is a circle. Here we have a square. So if the side of the square is given as 3.79, so area is simply 3.79 times 3.79, which is equal to 3.79 square. Okay, and it's a rectangle. This is just length times width for the area, but for the perimeter is twice of this side. Okay, and plus twice of this side. That's a perimeter. So for the area is one, that is length times width. Area is length times width. So the length is, if you consider the length as 5.6, then you just multiply this by 2.31 and you'll get the result for the area. So 5.6 multiplied by 2.31. It will give us, so the unit here is square units. Okay, so you get the area. So you just use your calculator, class, to multiply this. So again, for the triangle, area of a triangle is simply 1/2 base times the height. Or in this case, the base is this one. So 1/2 of the base, 19.8, multiplied by the height, which is 11.3. So that is the area. 1/2 BH area of a triangle. Okay, so that's how easy, class, is the calculation of the area. You just practice this one. Actually, this is the solution to, this is the problem of the solution that we have just shown in the previous slide. Now, talking about volume. So, volume, class, is a three-dimensional figure. So, the volume of a three-dimensional figure is a measure of the amount of space it occupies. So, for example, in this restriction, so the volume here is simply length times width times the height, the one that was shown a while ago. So when we talk about volume, if this is the illustration, so length, width, height, so the volume is simply length times the width times the height. So that is for this solid, rectangular solid. So this is the volume. And we have here another formulas for different solid gas. We have here 1/2 in this is trapezoid. Okay, so the volume of this, if you look at this, class, this is triangular, right? So we have 1/2 base times height. You have to, the volume here, class, is simply area times the height. This is the general formula for this, for the volume of this. But the area of the base, area of the base or the top, that is a triangle, so 1/2 base times height, right? Then multiplied by, if that is h, if this is h also, one half base times the height, assuming this is the height here, that is also h. So this is the base, so 1/2 base, okay, 1/2 the base, if this is b, for example, so 1/2 area of this triangle, class, okay, area of this triangle, this is the height h, so 1/2 bh, that is for the area. Then we have another height here, h, so this is now the volume. So volume is 1/2 base times height squared. Now, assuming that this height is equal to this height. Okay, then for this illustration here, if this is the length A, this is B, and this is C, or say this is height h, so the volume is simply the product of A times B times the height h. So this is the volume. Now for this type of figure, so again, basically volume is area times the height. So you just look at the area of the base, area of the base. So whatever is that, then calculate the area and then multiply that area with this height. Okay? So it can be a rectangle, it can be a circle, it can be a square, it can be a rectangle, and it can be in this. So in talking about prism class, this is the general formula of the prism, volume of the prism. Volume is just area times the height. Area of the base, okay, or area of the, assuming that the base and the top or the bottom and the top are the same. So you can calculate the area of the base or area of the top. Okay, now we have here the cylinder. For a cylinder class, this is circular, okay, with a radius. This is the radius, they're just the same, circular also. The base is circular, the top is also circular. And we just look at the height. What is this height? If this is h, then simply the volume is, again, this is area multiplied by the height. What is the area? The area of what? Area of the bottom or area of the top. So assuming the top and the bottom have the same area, so what is the top? Circular. What is the bottom? Circular. So what is the area of the circle? So the area of the circle is pi r squared. Okay? So that's why we have here the volume is simply area, where the area is equal to pi r squared. This is circular, multiplied by the height. Okay? Now, if you have a figure like this, that if this is S, this is also S, this is also S, so all the sides are equal, so we can say that the volume is simply S times S times S, length times width times height, which is equal to V equal to S cubed. And V is equal to S cubed. Okay? So that's it. And we have here another figure. We have here area of the base times height, meaning area, this is rectangular. So you simply calculate area, volume is equal to area times the height, area of the base, where the base is rectangular. So area of the rectangle is just length times width, right? So this is 10 times 15, and then times the height, which is equal to 10. So that is the volume. In this case, this is equal to 1,500. So the volume is equal to 1,500. If the unit here is in meters, kung meters yan sa class, meters, then the unit is meter cube. Okay? Now, looking at this picture, this is also a prism. So volume of prism, this is rectangular, right? So again, the volume of the prism is simply area of the base multiplied by the height. So if this is the base, then this is rectangular. So area of the rectangle is simply 1/2 base times the height. So in this case, if this is the base, which is 6, so 1/2 times 6 times the height, which is 4. The height is 4. Okay. Then multiplied by this. This is the height, which is 12. So times 12. So that's why we have area equal to 1/2 times 6 is 3 times 4, 12. 12 times 12, 144. So if this is in centimeter, If this is centimeter, so the unit will be centimeter cube, or if that is in inches, so inch cube. So this is the area. Sorry, this is not area, the volume. Okay, this is now the volume area. Sorry class, this is the volume equal to uh, um, okay, this is area of the base is equal to 1/2 BH. So this is triangular, and when you multiply this, this is it. This is the area. Okay, this is the area. Then when you multiply this by this one, the height, which is 12, so this becomes the volume. Okay, so we're talking about area. This is the base, area of the base, 1/2 BH, 1/2 of 6 times 4. Then we multiply this. Okay, I will not equate this to this one. So when you multiply this with the height, okay, when you multiply that with the height, so volume is equal to area times the height. So this is now the area. Okay, that is the area. So volume is equal to 1/2 times 6 times 4, then times h, which is equal to 12. So that is now the volume, which is equal to 144. Okay. Then for a cylinder with a radius equal to 5, so again, this is circular. So area of a circle, so volume of the cylinder is area of the circle multiplied by the height. Ito yung height niya, class. Okay? So the height is equal to 10. Okay? That is 10. And the radius here, given, this is not the radius, the radius is here. Radius is here. But the diameter is 10. So half of diameter, we know that radius is equal to d over 2. So the diameter is 10, so divide by 2, so the radius is equal to 5. Okay, radius is equal to 5. So the volume, again, volume is area times h. The area is a circle, pi r squared. Okay, then when you multiply that by the height, so this becomes a volume. So this is the formula. Volume is pi r squared h. R is 5, so you square that 1 times the height 10. So we have this volume. Okay, so that's it. And I hope I was able to explain it well to you. And I hope that you were able to understand what we were talking about when we speak about perimeter area and the volume. Okay, so that's all for this lecture. And thank you very much, and hope to see you again. And see you in our next session. Bye.